We are at 18-17 to start the second. Welcome to the first game of day number 3 of the NBA Rising Stars Invitational. Korea trying to take the lead there with a quick three. Season and Tadeo will be the forwards and the center of the NU. Here they're going to try to break this zone, which has bothered them, Roshan.
Yeah, it has, certainly has. Yes, but look at that again, nice positive drive, lots of power in that from Kwok Kyung-woo.
Now they have a chance to take the lead.
Well, the analysis coming into this one from Yongsan's perspective defensively would have been, it's no surprise that they're going with the zone here. They're trying to protect the interior and deny access into the paint because they want NUNS to shoot from distance to try and get the shots in, get the points in from range, because that's not something they are really comfortable with doing. It's not one of their strengths, really.
Okay, so if you're Team Philippines now, knowing that that's what you're seeing in the last part of the first quarter, it looks like it's going to carry on the second quarter. How do you adjust?
I mean, I'm looking at 66 of their 81 total from their first game. 66 points from the 81 were coming from inside the paint in
the
those
Philippines.
situations. 4 for NUNS, and just 11 attempts from beyond the arc, making just 2 with the 3. So that's obviously been an issue that's been difficult for them. You have a look at the setup here from Yongsan High School as well, in that 2-1-2 now.
And they're squeezing the floor.
There you go.
They're shrinking it. Manding gets inside with a floater. And a score finally by the Philippines to break an 8-0 run. That was an 8-0 run.
I wonder if they can look to try and get Tulabut a little bit more on the ball there. I think there's been a foul called.
But they're going to count the basket. Also, the foul will be on Big Mac Tadeo.
Yeah.
But the basket from Manding is good. Tadeo with that extra push on Kim Mingi. While the Philippines stays man-to-man, NU does. Oh, nice takeaway by Manding. Celis protects the ball with his body.
Yeah, make the most of those fast breaks, make them count.
And quick 4-0 answer, but nobody home. And this is what Yongsan likes to do. They like to play fast. You cannot sleep on them.
Well, NUNS, you know, we spoke about Yongsan and that defensive setup, you know, trying to limit those spaces in the lane. Oh, that's great. If you ask me about what's one way of getting around it, I'm not quite sure he meant that.
Celis says that was a pass. From the start, that was a pass.
But Tulabut, great anticipation, nice and switched on there.
Tadeo, they get the switch. They want to go underneath to punish that switch, and they do. Beautiful basic play by Yongsan.
I was just going to say, NUNS, you know, the thing I like about them is they still have that individual creativity to get through these zones that they're trying to block off Yongsan. Tulabut is one of the important players in this, and you've got that explosiveness of Manding as he pops out here as well.
That's a great looking zone though. Tadeo trying to force his way through and draws a foul. But you see how effective, especially from where we're perched. We're a bit lucky that we can see it from a kind of like an elevated
position. Yeah.
So we can see how that zone really works. Now they're putting in some of the zone breakers, zone busters here. That's Lucido, who has 2 triples early in this game. Big Mac Tadeo will make 2 free throws here, or will have 2 free throws. With a 1-point lead, under 8 minutes to play. He takes his time with the first. Too much? Too long. I was about to say, boy, is he taking his time. And Coach Kevin just with a sarcastic smile. So a timeout here by Yongsan High School, as we expected this to be a good game, Roshan, and so far it's delivering.
You mentioned an interesting word when we were looking at the warm-ups. We were talking about this match and what to expect pre-game discipline.
Yeah.
And you know, and will NUNS have that discipline to keep going at it against Yongsan? I don't think there's going to be any doubt about Yongsan and their level of discipline here. But we see from NUNS just the basic things that you touched on, like taking too long in those situations. Diakite with that lack of awareness at times, picking out the right sort of passes, and those turnovers, basic turnovers. So those are the little things that they'll probably need to adjust, because it's probably going to be a game of fine margins here for me, Boom, as we have a look at some of these great highlights.
I agree, completely agree. The way it's going, it's definitely delivering just that. That 7-point lead earlier erased right away, and now we're down to 2. Korea had a 1-point lead earlier. Yongsan did. Philippines taking it back 25-23. So a great start to day number 3. As now the game's starting to really get tighter, as the better teams are now starting to come up and show their wares. Korea is led by the 11 points of Kim Mingi. We haven't heard much from that guy on your screen so far. 0 still for Eddie. While the Philippines is led by Diakite's 5 and Lucido's 6. So Philippines now playing zone. NUNS, kind of like a matchup zone. And that's a second foul on Big Mac, using his leg there.
Yeah, just couldn't quite shift quick enough, Tadeo. I think that's one of the weaknesses, isn't it? Once he sort of gets set in that position, the footwork isn't quite right, and Diakite is coming back on. Not that effective with the minutes that he had, Tadeo.
No surprise, Musa Diakite is back in the game. Tadeo is there to relieve him a little bit. Good rest for Musa. Let's see how the game changes. Good contest there on the 3. Diakite. And that's the difference he makes. A little, even if you think you left him behind already, that length is able to recover.
Yeah, that reach. So important. Diakite just
camping.
Getting in there. Within the width of the lane.
Right. 4 seconds to shoot for Lucido. Lucido, that's good intention by him, but the pass too hot for Season.
John Denver is on as well.
Yes.
John Denver, Season, just for anyone out there who might be a little bit confused, giving him his full name.
Roger Matias is back in the ballgame for LeBron Jake Mandi. Matias goes under the screen, stays with the defense, cannot complete the stop. That's short, and it stays with Yongsan. 7 on the shot clock. Eddie gets away. And they will count that. Wow. That's also another thing that we want to see in terms of the consistency. Some of these calls, they will not count even if the gather was already done, like earlier with Celis, but this one, they consider the gather. So,
yeah. Diakite as well, he's not happy. Shake of the head.
Yeah. Like, I agree that should have counted.
Yeah.
But also,
but you're a little bit.
The Celis one should have counted also earlier. Season will move out, and Timbang will come back in. In the meantime, Eddie Daniel will try to convert on the 3-point play to break this deadlock at 25. 6:36 to play. We don't expect any running time here in the second half between these two teams.
No, not with the way it's going.
They're going to give another one. Basic mistakes, as you're saying, Roshan. Matias disagrees. He says there wasn't a violation, but the referee will not change that call for sure. So Eddie will have another chance to take that lead.
They've got to be careful here as well. I mean, there can be an element.
Well, I did say it yesterday, Roshan. There's that tendency to be a bit casual.
Yeah.
And look at that. The mortal sin in basketball, the free throw shooter getting the rebound. Little things making the difference here as the stake is higher. And now they give up the lead, a 2-point lead to Korea. Yongsan High School taking 27-25. Lucido dropping it down to Diakite.
Lovely, great from Lucido. The drive across the baseline there, and then with the dish to Diakite.
That's what you're saying when it comes to the creativity.
Yeah. Talking about those zone breakers, Lucido, one of those.
The tap goes to him. Brent uses his body trying to draw the foul, and it will go to Yongsan. 27 all. Spot in the semifinals. .540 to play here in the first half. White shirts of Yongsan. It will stay with them with 12 to shoot. Trigger will be from the sideline. Drop off. Comes up short. Eddie keeping it alive. That will be NUNS ball. That's tough to call.
Well, he's trying to make something happen, Eddie, but he's finding it difficult to dominate against Diakite, who's winning those battles at the moment.
You used the perfect word. Battle is what's happening right now. Inaugural NBA Rising Stars Invitational. Back screen, but they saw that coming. Tulabut was trying to fly in, and he's casually jogging back on defense, so Korea has the advantage here. Free for a three for the lefty, and it drops in for Bay. Boom. That's what happens when you jog back. One guy will be free.
Yep.
That's what we're talking about, being casual in a sequence like in a scenario like this. Lucido will try to get it back. No. And here comes Yongsan again with the advantage. Free for another three. Got it. Back to back.
Wow. Kim Yong-soo delighted with that one, and he should be.
33-27 for Yongsan High. And again, the casualness defensively coming back, that's what's hurting NUNS right now. They're not sprinting back.
Comes down to the effort, the discipline as well. How much do you want it in those situations when the lungs are burning, when the legs are tiring? Are you gonna fight to get yourself back, to get an arm in there, get in the face of the opposition? He's had a lot of time with that one, Kim Yon-seo. Oh, brilliant.
And I did say, whether they're a lefty or a righty, they have the same form on that three-point shot.
And I pointed it out earlier as well in the analysis in the lead up to this one. Yongsan are very happy with those shots from outside the arc. They'll take them all day. And in fact, in the warm-up, they were going through the repertoire, whether it was the shots, attempts at the triples, whether it was shots from the elbow, whether it was looking to try and drive into the paint. Eddie was actually lighting it up in the warm-ups with a couple of dunks as well. We haven't quite seen that from him in the game because he's coming up against Diakite, but to be fair, has been solid on the defensive side of things, and he's provided a contribution in offense as well.
So the issues right now for NUNS is breaking this zone, that's one, and then on the other side, sprinting back on defense. And because they have been lacking in both here so far in the first half, they have given up the biggest lead to Yongsan High School at 6, and the press is on.
Well, these NUNS players, you know, they can play.
No,
they're good young players, they're good talents, but again, at this level, when you're playing against other top quality opposition, as I said earlier, it comes down to those finer margins.
Another wayward pass. I don't know what Matias was thinking there. Like, the pass was just too high, even for Diakite.
Well, there's also a little bit of a concern that they can start to feel that some of the calls are going against them, and mentally that can have a bit of an impact. They need to not let that get them a little bit too down. Try and control the things that you can.
That's the second foul on Musa, who bit the fake.
Yeah.
And that is the strategy now for the Korean big men to fake off Musa Diakite. Again, that's your job.
Absolutely.
That's your job to be able to adjust to these things. You have to know that that is the strategy now. And you got to stay down if you want to stay in the game. And in this case, as you saw there, Season was talking to Musa just to keep your hands up because you have that advantage anyway. If they still make the basket over you, then hats off.
No, you're absolutely right. Completely agree. I mean, we've already seen that a couple of times, those fakes that he's sort of fallen for, that he's not been anticipating, not been ready for them.
At 33-27, I think they're lull hill because they're going to change players. That's Kim Tae-in will come in for the very first time. They're going to attend to Kim Ming-gi. There's some issue on the lower leg. Now this lead continues to build. 7 being the biggest in the ball game, and that was with the Philippines at 18-11 and 16-9. Now Korea matching that one, and a possibility to edge it too with this free throws trickling in. 35-27. That's another way to break that the defense, not let it set up.
Yeah, fast break.
With the 2. Free lane. Great misdirection play by Yongan High School. Here comes Lucido. Check, blocked. Philippines recovering. Tulabut is trapped. And a pass taken away by Eddie. Eddie drives. Eddie will take it all the way. Hard foul by Timbang, but Eddie, upper body strength.
Incredible passage of play there by Eddie. It started off with him making the block and then the steal, wonderful anticipation. And then he backs himself to drive all the way through into the lane, takes the contact.
That's the first contact. This one. Go. Then there's another one
to the back,
there.
The second one with the left hand.
And he still gets it through. Brute strength.
Take your pick, really.
Yeah. And now a chance to go up 11 in this game. And they do.
Yeah, I'm glad we're finally starting to see a lot more of Eddie. Picked him up.
Lucido settles for the jumper. And it's all one try for Team NU. One chance at the basket, that's it. And then they leave somebody open for 3. Offensive rebound. Everything going Yongsan's way now.
Not picking up the points, not picking up the rebounds. And UNS starting to fall behind here. That separation being created.
Look at them scramble and defense. And the Philippines kind of like pressured to make that shot right away. Sometimes, and we talked about this yesterday, Roshan, that kind of pressure defense not necessarily is created or executed to get a ball, to get a steal, or to get a stop. It's more to rush the opponent.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it right now. NUNS is being rushed into the things that they want to do.
Well, you just at times as well forcing those errors. You know,
correct.
Testing the opposition. How well do you play under this pressure? Do you have the composure in those moments? Do you have the movement there? Do you have the cuts going for you to find a way out? Or can you take it on yourself? So it's a big test as Eddie goes for this.
That is such a great play. Fake dribble handoff. NU escaping and dodging a bullet there. Lucido has 2 triples. Make that 3. They needed that one. Sean Brent Lucido getting the lead down to 8.
Great triple from the corner there by Lucido.
Trying to make a run here at the end of this first half.
Needed that. Was a bit of a dry spell for NUNS.
Eddie again. Couple of fakes. That's Timbang staying down this time. A little more disciplined on that post defense. And an offensive foul on a badly executed screen by Yongsan.
A little bit more like it, but again, comes back to the consistency, doing it again and again and again.
Timbang, I think, he's studying Eddie and he's realizing, okay, they're going for fakes. Thinking while the game is ongoing. That's just how it's supposed to be. As another foul is committed here. Oh no, it's an offensive one.
Well, again, more frustration.
Coach Kevin De Castro with, again, that sarcastic smile.
Well, he's trying to keep his cool.
They're going to warn, I think they're also going to warn Lucida here.
Not a lot of back chat to the officials, and not quite appreciative of that.
Well, again, this is a spot for an all-important semi-final seat. Takeaway. Oh, but a giveaway. Great screen, great roll, great dive, and a great execution of the play and the turnaround. Simple screen and roll. Look at how rushed that shot was, Roshan. It's like they're so pressured to shoot.
He's picked up the offensive rebound. He could try again here. Is that going to go their way this time? Man?
Yeah. Look at this. The screen, the dive, the fake.
Yeah.
Another fake.
Steps away, but have a look at the pivot foot.
Yeah, beautiful.
Keeps himself in control.
Again, the age-old saying that you don't have to have flair to execute plays like that. That's a very basic and fundamentally sound move. And still 2 points. Free throws that the Philippines needs, and missed there by Man. Down 10. A minute and 12 remaining in the first half. Very competitive. He twists the screen, talking about Yongsan. What a fake, what a fake, what a drive. Everything but the shot there for Bay Buidom. Celis, one-on-one, nowhere to go.
Yeah, blocked out. Look at the hustle defensively. Yongsan High. They got away with that one a little bit, I think, but perhaps deserving of that stroke of good fortune.
One-on-one cannot defeat a defense defensive pressure like that. And Eddie is set to come back into the game for the final 38.5 as Coach Sebum Lee, or Lee Sebum rather, looking to make a sure two here. Gamble by Celis. Puts the defense in compromise now. Scrambling to get back. Yongsan loses it though. Here comes the Philippines. NU, not with the numbers. Timbang from 14. He got that one. Cutting the lead down to 7. 20 seconds remaining in the first half. Philippines looking for a stop. Yongsan looking for a conversion. Let's see how they execute. Switch, they blitz. Yongsan recovers, Eddie underneath. Misses underneath, 2 seconds to shoot. Celis travels. And at the end of the first half, little separation from Yongsan High School. Their biggest lead was 11. The biggest lead for the Philippines was early on at 7. And we are at the half. And we will be, wait, are they? No. A little anticlimactic. I think they're going to put some time on the clock.
Oh, well, that's a strange one because we saw it go down to 0. We heard the buzzer and everything.
I think they called the traveling violation. But wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Traveling violation. That means there's going to be a chance to make a catch and shoot here.
It's not just us. Both teams were off the court as well.
Yeah.
So it has to be quick. Yeah, said catch and shoot. Has to go.
Or an alley-oop play for backdoor play.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, there's just been a switch there with Sison. I think it was just alive to that. It was Matthias initially. So they're going to kind of keep track of Kwok Hyun Woo.
Misdirection play here. They're going to get a 5-second infraction, so that means the 1 second will now go to the Philippines. From the backcourt, though.
Good work from NUNS.
Celis will trigger. And the quarter court heave will not go. So it stays at 42-35. We will be back here at halftime.